Hi everyone, Rachel here from The Free Change. We've been travelling Australia in our bus for the last 4 years. And if there's one thing that I can say hand on heart, it's that we wouldn't have survived the journey without our doTERRA essential oils. So we have been using these oils in our life for the best part of 7 years. And originally it was for our physical health and well-being to help us break the cycle of sickness and illness. I was running a preschool at the time, so you can imagine how much sickness and illness was entering our home. My husband, Clint, was a detective senior constable in the child abuse squad, so you can imagine the toll that job took on him physically and emotionally. So as we started to see the amazing things that the doTERRA essential oils did in helping us eliminate toxins from our home and from our medicine cabinet, and we started to get some control back over our lives, we began to focus on harnessing the power of these essential oils to help us shift our mood and our emotional well-being. So this began ever so gently with us reaching for essential oils and having mindful moments, using the power of smell to stimulate and anchor in new emotional responses, dropping an essential oil in our hand and having a few big deep breaths of that essential oil to break the cycle of anxiety and stress. That was if we were feeling overwhelmed or run down. So very quickly we began to see how powerful they were. So some examples that I started to implement with our children was a mindful moment. So I'd say to the children, guys, how are you feeling? Are you feeling overwhelmed? So if they're having a meltdown or a tantrum, of course, I'd let them have their moment and just wait till they're ready to talk. But when they were ready to talk, I'd allow them to take a pick of an essential oil that they felt drawn to in that time. So a lot of the times, if they were longing for feelings of happiness, they would reach for an essential oil like citrus bliss or wild orange and an uplifting citrusy smell. They'd pop a drop in their hands and I'd say, how old are you? And they'd often say 5 or 6. And I'd say it takes 6 big deep breaths. So they'd cup their hands over their face and they do 6 big inhalations of that smell. So that is one simple way that we started to shift our responses from yelling and screaming and overwhelm and out of control of emotions to showing our children that in fact we do have the power to start to change the story we tell ourselves when we're experiencing overwhelm. So those big emotions that us adults feel, amplify that by 1 trillion, and that's what our little ones are feeling. And especially with the way the world is right now, mental health is in its worst position that it's ever been across Australia, and I dare say the whole world. Children are feeling isolated, unable to cope with emotions, helpless when it comes to what they can actually do to improve their state of mind. But there are a lot of adults that are still suffering emotionally and are unable to lead and direct their children into new and healthier patterns of behaviour. So we have one kit that we recommend if someone is ready to start an emotional wellness journey and start to focus in on their power and harness their power to create new routines in their lives and homes. So the pack that we're going to explore today is the Emotional Wellness Starter Pack. And I'm going to quickly just run through the oils, their aromatic description, so what's in them and their ingredients and ways that we use these in our family's life in this bus. And you can use them in your home to help create new pattern, new behaviors, new emotional responses. So the first oil that we'll be covering is Balance Grounding Blend. It comes in a 15 ml bottle. It is a beautiful, beautiful smell, and it's called Grounding Blend for a reason. So the aromatic description officially is airy, fresh, sweet, but woody. So imagine that. It sounds like a cocktail of fun. The ingredients are fractionated coconut oil, spruce leaf, hoe wood leaf, frankincense, blue tansy flower, blue chamomile flower, and osmanthus flower. So the way we use this, and this is especially in times of sensory overwhelm, meltdown, we've been out and it's just been a hectic day, or the kids just cannot seem to settle and focus on what the next task at hand is. One drop in the hand, as I said, close the eyes. And as you're taking that big inhalation, you are thinking my words that attach to this smell is I am calm, I am strong, I am in control. So whenever I smell this in the early days, that's the mantra I'd be saying in my own head to display to my boys that yes, mummy was a bit overwhelmed, a bit out of control, but I'm bringing myself back to being present, and I'm displaying to you just how easy it is to break the spiral. So after or before long, now when I smell balance, I don't need to recite, I am calm, I'm strong, I'm in control, because the smell itself triggers that response. I've created a new aromatic anchor. So the primary benefits of that are obviously to ground your, or I say that it helps my whole nervous system take a breath, and it brings me back down, and it slows my environment around and the atmosphere around me down enough where I can begin to focus on my breathing and then reapproach whatever situation I was about to enter. So when the world is open up and life is open up, an example of how you could use that is before a stressful situation at work, or you're about to go and have a meeting with someone or see a family member that could or would usually trigger a bit of overwhelm in your life. So having that smell on you, having created a relationship with that smell and a new trigger, a positive trigger in your life to do with that smell, it'd be a great idea to have Balanced Grounding Blend on you for that experience. The next oil we're going to explore is Citrus Bliss, which is a very, very invigorating blend, hence the reason it's called the invigorating blend. Its primary benefits are it creates an uplifting environment, an energizing and fresh aroma. So Citrus Bliss is very much like elevation in terms of its uplifting side and the responses that it creates in my life and in our children's life. But Citrus Bliss has been one of the main oils that we diffuse in our, what would you say, the busiest area of our home. So when my husband, right before he used to be coming in from work, or the kids were about to run in the door from school, I would have Citrus Bliss diffusing in the diffuser in that main environment. And immediately upon their return home, that smell is home. That smell represents home. So automatically it is a happy, safe, uplifting smell for them to walk into and then begin their afternoon or begin their evening. Citrus Bliss, the ingredients are wild orange, lemon, grapefruit, mandarin, bergamot, tangerine, clementine, and vanilla bean absolute. So when I say that it's citrusy, I'm not kidding. It is the most invigorating, uplifting smell you can imagine. Other ways you can use that is by popping it into your car diffuser, or a little wooden peg right in front of the air vent in your car if you don't want to buy a diffuser for your car. Pop a little drop onto that wooden peg, and it is an amazing smell that will eliminate all of the toxic car smells and fresheners that you can think of, but also create the same atmosphere in the car. So on your way to soccer training or on your way to wherever you're going, you have the power to keep your environment and allow your environment to trigger happiness and uplifting emotions and emotional responses, instead of just going through the motions and hoping that you can get through the day. Citrus Bliss is an incredible oil to add into your cleaning spray. So a very, very cost-effective, non-toxic cleaning addition. If you're not already using doTERRA On Guard cleaning concentrate, you can simply just grab an aluminium bottle, add some water, a dash of vinegar, if you choose. And we add about 10 to 20 drops in a standard size aluminium bottle. And when you're spraying around your surfaces, it is incredible. We love it. Lavender Peace is the next blend that we explore in the emotional wellness pack. Now, Lavender Peace is a very, very special blend in our family. We have used this smell for the last 7 years, and for our youngest son, he's 4, his whole life traveling Australia, we realized that we couldn't take the same bedroom and have the same environment and the same neighbors and the same similar sounds in his environment if we were moving our house on wheels around our country. It's virtually impossible. But what we could do was control his sleep environment and control his aromatic anchor when it came to sleep. So from the very, very first second that he was born, I had a drop of Lavender Peace and I popped it on my shoulder, on my shirt. And as I was nursing him, he was aromatically anchoring that smell to mum. Home, safety, food, nurture, nourishment. All of those emotions that were rushing through me and rushing through him are captured by this smell. So if you think of someone that you love dearly that may have passed away, and you had an incredibly strong relationship with them and bond with them, and you smell something that reminds you of that person, that is aromatherapy. When the tears fall from your eyes, when it takes you back and you have a moment of appreciation and you have a flood of memories come back from that smell, that is aromatherapy. So Lavender Peace for our family is that. It is the essence of calm, the essence of rest, and the essence of sleep. So it doesn't matter if I'm present or not. When my boys smell this smell, I am there. And for the rest of their lives, when they smell Lavender Peace Restful Blend, they will have an attachment and an appreciation and a moment, an emotional moment, thinking of mum, home, safety, warmth. So the power of aromatherapy and the power of smells to influence your emotions is the strongest thing that you can ever do to create a new wellness routine in your life. So the description of this, the best description given, is a warm, floral but herbal smell. And the way that it influences your moods and emotions outside of the sleep environment, outside of home, when you're sending your kids to a sleepover at a friend's house, when they're having a sleepover at their grandparents' house, when they're going on school camp, the way that you can still influence and create a calm environment and atmosphere and feelings of safety is by helping them develop a relationship with these oils. It is so important and such a gift for their ongoing emotional wellness journey into their own adulthood and beyond. So Elevation is another part of the emotional wellness starter pack. Elevation is called the Joyful Blend, and it is an incredible uplifting smell. So it's created, and I guess its primary benefits is to uplift and enliven the senses, energizing and refreshing aroma, and it promotes the revitalizing sort of atmosphere similar to Citrus Bliss, but this is less citrusy and more warm. That's the best way I can describe it. The ingredients are lavender flower, tangerine, lavender flower, amyris, I never get that right, bark, clary sage, Hawaiian sandalwood, lang lang, hoewood leaf, osmanthus flower, lemon myrtle leaf, and melissa flower leaf. So it is a very powerful blend of essential oils that has been put together purposefully to bring joy back into your life and enliven those joyful feelings to be sparked. So ways that we use this is we have pendants that we wear around our neck, and we can pop a drop on that. So some of them are made out of like a stone. Others are an actual pendant that you open and you pop a drop on a bit of material inside the pendant. You can simply get a drop in your hands, pop it on your points in your around your body, and use it as a perfume in your life. You can diffuse this next to your bed, or in your office, or in your work environment, or at the reception of your preschool. It is an incredible, joyful smell. But again, every single time you diffuse a smell in an environment, people are going to capture that smell and link it to that environment. So when I used to diffuse this blend at my preschool, it became the smell, the sensory trigger and attachment to that preschool, which was full of joy, full of life, full of fun. It was a smell that hopefully when all of those children who are now in their teens would smell a smell similar to that, they will have fond memories of their time at my preschool, because this smell encapsulates their time there. So we can use the power of smell to take us back, and it will trigger obviously emotions, sometimes bad emotions, and a smell like a cooking of someone that you didn't appreciate, or a bad experience at work. A smell can trigger bad emotions. What we use aromatherapy for is to replace them with good. So to acknowledge and to journey through the pain and through the lessons, but also to sit in the presence of that and use these oils like balance, like citrus bliss, like elevation, to stop the spiral and to create a new response and to create a new routine. And then we show our children how simple it can be to take ownership of your emotional health and well-being. The last oil that's in the emotional wellness starter pack is Adaptive. Adaptive comes in a 15 ml bottle, but it also comes in a touch, but not in the starter kit. But I just wanted to point out that a lot of our oils also come in touch versions. So they're on the go, ready to roll on. And we do have a variety of kits available that are ready to rock and roll. But for the time being, the last oil in the emotional wellness starter pack is Adaptive. So its aromatic description, is sweet, citrusy and floral, and the ingredients are wild orange, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli sweet gum essential oils. So this blend has been purpose built to help bring tranquility back into your lives and into the lives of your children. And we use copaiba essential oil a lot. You'll hear us talk about it a lot, to do with mental health and PTSD and sleep and pain and all the incredible things copaiba oil is used for. This blend amplifies one of our favorite oils being copaiba, but it partners it with the citrus smells, the lavender, the spearmint and rosemary, and all those really earthy, nourishing but grounding smells as well, and scents as well. So all of these oils topically would be going to work on your cells. And I know we're not talking about your physical well-being at the moment, and the ways that the wild orange will work in your system to help fight bacteria, the way that lavender works in your system. There's so much science behind how these oils get to work to help you physically. But doTERRA have done an incredible job of creating these powerful blends like Adaptive, like Elevation, like Balance, to simplify a new wellness approach and simplify a new wellness journey for families that this is brand new to emotional wellness. So the ways we use Adaptive usually comes into play spontaneously throughout the day as our secret weapon, I guess you could call it. So if they're not coming up to, or it's just been a really, they've woken up on the wrong side of the bed, and we've got to get through the morning homeschooling, focusing on tasks at hand, adaptive is the oil that we will reach for to roll on the chest, around the neck. Our children, and especially our middle son, who has sensory overload. So when he's feeling that way, anyone with sensory children will know that it can be really hard to bring them back down to planet Earth and to get some routine and some structure back into their day, which in turn affects the whole family. So when we get adaptive out, we know that it is not only going to work, but we're accepting that we are reaching for the big guns, and we are going to sit down and take a very mindful and present moment with this oil to allow the copaiba especially and the spearmint to help our child's nervous system settle and slow, so his language can return, so we can have a conversation. He sees me applying it to myself. I can help him apply it to himself. It only takes a matter of a minute or two, and already we are back down, grounded together, able to have a conversation, able to put words to our feelings and emotions. And then we can set the precedents for the next part of the morning or the afternoon. If you're out and about and you experience, or your child is, you can feel the energy shift. You might be at a restaurant, you might be going out to a play date with a child or another family. You know your child better than anything. They might be doing grocery shopping and something triggers them and they're starting to unravel. Adaptive has been the most powerful oil that I've been able to experience, safely bringing our son into his own wellness routine. So seeing him pull it out of his pocket and roll it on himself without me having to direct him, so that is a pretty incredible thing for a 10-year-old to do, and to acknowledge that he is very aware that he is experiencing overwhelm and that he needs to make a decision. Does he continue down the path of overwhelm, and we know how that ends, or does he take a step back, recognize that he has the power to adapt his responses in this moment and apply this essential oil to him, breathe it in, and then come back very focused and conscious in his responses to that environment. So adaptive tranquil blend is great to diffuse afternoons after a massive day at school, winding down right before bed. I often love to give the boys or Lenny a massage down his spine with it about an hour or two before bed. And sometimes I'll just walk past and roll it on his neck. But we're both very aware of what that oil is and how powerful it is to reset and help us reset, so we can then be present with each other and create a better approach to what used to be a very stressful situation. So that is the Emotional Wellness Starter Pack. In that starter pack, you also get a petal diffuser, which is incredible. A petal diffuser is an aromatic, the most powerful aromatic addition to any home or any bus. It has different functions that you can set, light on, light off, timer, intermittent, and it is a powerful way to approach an atmosphere of the home without actually having your children aware that they're being influenced emotionally by those same smells. So if you know that they have a great response to citrus bliss or elevation and they love that oil, that they might not be in the mood to go and actively participate in their own wellness routine, you diffuse that oil in the environment. And it is a very clever way for parents to stay that one step ahead to help their child or their children create a new emotional wellness routine. So the starter pack in Australian dollars, the retail amount is $301 for those oils and for the diffuser, but the welcome pack and the wholesale starter pack is $226 Australian, which includes a wholesale account and access to the best essential oils in the entire world at wholesale prices, 25% off direct to your door, full support of the Free Change online wellness and education community. And yeah, it's the most powerful journey you will take with your family when you recognize that you have the power to create new responses, to anchor new emotional responses, and to no longer be at the mercy of big emotions, because you have the power to reset and to reignite new responses in your life, and to show the kids that it is possible to change and it is possible to live empowered. So thank you for spending time with me this morning. And if you're interested in the Emotional Wellness Starter Pack or any more information regarding these oils, please don't hesitate to comment below. Bye.